send records across the Atlantic to the jam site, perform the join at the jam site, and send the result back, which says whatever that result is, as opposed to moving 1 million records across the Atlantic, performing the join at the local site, the Taiwan site. In other words, it looks at the two different ways that it can perform this distributed query, and it selects the one that's going to result in the least amount of movement across the network, because that's going to be the quickest. Star always determines the quickest way to get the data for you. So to do data unification efficiently, a global optimizer is required. And neither Oracle nor Sybase provide a global optimizer. Actually, the global optimizer is much smarter than just looking at the relative amount of data at various locations. If it ends up that a distributed query refers to approximately the same amount of data at two different locations, then IngressStar will look at other factors to determine the quickest way to get the data back to the user. It'll look at such things as the availability of indexes on various tables at different sites. It'll look at such things as the storage structure, and also system factors such as the relative CPU power of the participating systems. So it's a very smart global optimizer. Okay, so that's data unification. 3-point agenda. First point, data unification, and you absolutely have to have a global optimizer to do data unification in an efficient manner. Secondly, data distribution. The second job of distributed databases is to keep data at multiple sites consistent for you, and that requires a feature called automatic two-phase commit and a couple of other related features. Okay, I'm not going to dwell on this, but we do support transactions in a heterogeneous database environment. We're still waiting for the certification of STAR against gateways. That's coming. And the point is that we provide a distributed transaction facility which will allow you to read information from Ingress or non-Ingress sites through Ingress gateways and update either an Ingress or a non-Ingress site. So we support distributed transactions which provide single site update where Ingress and non-Ingress databases are supported. Better than that, where Ingress databases are supported, we provide automatic two-phase commit, which allows the distributed database management system to keep related data at multiple sites consistent for you. The two-phase commit protocol is often exemplified by a marriage ceremony. So a marriage is a two-phase commit ceremony. Essentially, in the marriage ceremony, there is a coordinator, the minister, and there are participants, the to-be husband and wife. And essentially, just to explain the two-phase commit protocol, it's up to the minister to first check with the husband whether he wants to get married to this woman, and with the woman whether she wants to get married to the man before he pronounces them man and wife. Now, if either of them back out of the ceremony prior to that point, in other words, the wife says, well, I've been thinking about it, and this guy is really a schmuck, and I think I better not go through with this ceremony, and she says so to the minister, then the minister will abort the ceremony. Likewise, if the fellow backs out. If they both indicate that they do want to get married, then the minister commits to completing the ceremony. Now, the point is, Ingress STAR handles checking to see whether various databases which are to be updated are available to be updated prior to updating them. So the two-phase commit protocol, in other words, checking to see that sites are available to be updated before they're updated, is handled by Ingress STAR itself. You, the user, or the application simply send a transaction to Ingress STAR, and Ingress STAR handles two-phase commit automatically. Now, in the scenario I just gave you, well, actually, let me first indicate why this is important. There is an entire range of applications which require automatic two-phase commit. You can refer to these as all-or-nothing applications, where what you have to do is you have to update related information at multiple sites as a logical unit, or not update it. It has to all be updated or all not updated. What And a simple example of this is a multi-branch bank transaction. Let's say you want to withdraw some information, some money which you have in your savings account and credit it to your local checking account. Savings account is located at the main branch and your checking account at the local branch. So essentially you, the customer, send a withdrawal transaction to Star, and Star checks to see whether the savings account can be debited and whether the checking account database can be credited. Now it's not sufficient for it to debit savings and not credit checking, or credit checking and not debit savings. Clearly the latter, for example, would result in a costly error for the bank. What is required is that either both savings is debited and checking is credited, or neither are debited or credited. And Ingress Star, by sending a transaction to Ingress Star would make sure that either both happen or neither happen. That's what two-phase commit is about. Now, back to our marriage ceremony, what happens if after the man and woman both agree that they want to be married, somebody shoots the minister? Somebody has to, so there's some disgruntled left-wing person in the church that doesn't like religious ceremonies, and so he decides to shoot the minister, and it so happens that he shoots the minister right after both the man and woman indicate that they want to be married. Okay, someone has to recover the situation. They both want to be married, yet the minister hasn't pronounced them man and wife yet. So, what to do? One thing that could be done is you could bring in another, you could drag out the first minister and bring in another minister to complete the ceremony. You'll have to excuse the morbid example here. Now, Ingress Star actually can operate in this mode. In other words, since it is possible to locate Ingress Star at multiple points within your network, in other words, you can locate Star at multiple points within your network and have different Star servers serve the same distributed database, such that if one computer with Star becomes unavailable, another computer running Star can kick in and finish the distributed transaction. We actually support that capability today. Now, that essentially is analogous to bringing in another minister and completing the ceremony. The second failure that can occur is a disgruntled girlfriend in the audience may shoot the to-be husband. And this is, so at this point the husband has indicated that he wants to be, the to-be husband indicated that he wanted to be married, and the to-be wife that she wants to be married, and then somebody shoots the husband. Well, how do you recover that situation? Now, let's say in this case he's not he's not fatally wounded. He'll recover eventually. This is what's called in technical terminology a participant failure. And or there's another technical term which is the disgruntled girlfriend failure. In this case, Star utilizes a feature that it release 6 Star contains called automatic recovery management. What automatic recovery management does is it recovers the situation of participant failures. So, if Star checks to see whether database 1 is available and it says yes, I'm available to be updated, database 2, yes, I'm available to be updated, Star decides to update both databases and then database 1 fails. Now Star has decided to update both. It proceeds with the update. It updates the available database. It fails to update the unavailable database. It logs the fact that it is unable to update the unavailable database in its distributed transaction log. And then it uses a retry loop so that when the failed database recovers, it automatically applies the update to the failed database. That's what automatic recovery management is about. It ends up that there's actually quite a bit more to automatic recovery management, and if you want to get information on the technical details, there actually is a tape which explains how Star recovers all cases of failure of which there are 3 types.